Michigan beat Nebraska. Allegedly, it was a close game, 30-27. It was not a close game. I give this game 3 chali on the 1 to 5 scale. There was a Hail Mary at halftime yesterday. So anytime you get that in a game, happened right in front of us. Anytime we can get that in a game, that's entertaining. It was close. It was a very, very raucous environment there at Memorial Stadium. This is their 28th straight loss versus a ranked team. Just not great. Here's some of the scenes that we took in yesterday. We were on the sideline all day. I can't keep doing this, guys. I can keep doing that. I can go on the road until the end of time. It's just that I've got something wrong with me. And in the interest of sharing intimate details of our personal lives with each other, I want to tell you, I got a Michigan problem in my life. I keep picking against them, and I don't know why. Some people say it's bias. I got nothing against Michigan. I was in Michigan's locker room after the win yesterday. I got nothing against Michigan, I promise you that. Could the model be anti-Michigan? Maybe, but I divorce myself from the model all the time. Famously, the model would pick Texas against the Chiefs if they played tomorrow. So the model's not the end-all be-all in my mind. But I keep looking at Michigan and this proven physicality, athletic profile that team has, even in a non-vintage year, playing against a team that hasn't proven anything, and I pick against them again. And they thoroughly proved me wrong again. And I'm left walking out of another building, shaking my head. You got to understand, a lot of folks at Michigan watch the show. I appreciate them. A lot of the coaches, a lot of the players. And I go in the locker room yesterday, and they just look at me, and some of them just shake their head. But others just ask, like, what's wrong? Why? How could you not see this coming? I don't know. I didn't even say anything back. What can I say? I don't know. I cannot believe the score was this close. Really. Look, all due respect to Nebraska and the immense respect for the program, Matt Rule, the fun we had. We were treated like royalty up there. Oh, I appreciate that until the end of time. But the play on the field yesterday has to stand on its own. And I cannot believe the play on the field dictated a score that was this close. They were trying to execute an onside kick, minute and a half left, and I was sitting there telling anyone who could listen, how are we even in a position with how thoroughly Michigan feels like they have steamrolled them, that this game's even still up in the air? And as it turned out, Michigan recovers, game over. But they were ripping off explosive runs left and right. It turns out if they just keep doing that, it's not an exception to the rule. See, I watched Michigan rip off explosive touchdown runs in a game, I think against like New Mexico. And then I remember saying, well, if they don't do that against Oklahoma, it's going to be a problem. Well, they did lose to Oklahoma, but even in that game, they ripped more off. And then they've done it every week since. And they did it yesterday. They had 7 carries in this game, not total, but 7 of their carries yielded 221 and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Their longest passing play was 16 yards. It didn't even matter. Underwood threw the ball because he, kind of felt like it every now and then. Didn't really even need to. And man, when he got in the open field, you remember when, I don't want to do this, I'm going to do it, whatever. There are no standards around here. You remember when Cam got to Auburn? They played LSU early in the year. And he pulled away from a guy named Patrick Peterson in LSU secondary. There were no Patrick Petersons, Peter I on the field yesterday for Nebraska. But the way Bryce Underwood hit that different gear when he got in open field reminded me of how it put my jaw on the ground when I first saw Cam Newton just turn it loose in the open field early in that 2010 season at Auburn. That is where I will end the comparison because that's not fair. But just a little moment in time versus moment in time. That's what I thought. It was a big-time competitive character sort of check for Michigan. And spoiler alert, they still got it. They go into the half tied. And there's some very, very questionable decision-making. Sharon Moore's not even there. So they don't even have their head coach there. Probably bit them when it came to game management, clock management. They give Nebraska an opportunity to call timeout with 1 second to go. Raiola heaves the ball to the end zone. Of course, it's not played right. It is played right by Nebraska. Touchdown, 17-all, going into the half. Unbelievable. I mean, we went off the field. I was there with Will and Taylor and all the guys from Bussin' with the Boys. We all go off the field up Nebraska's tunnel. Couldn't be more jacked. I was not around Michigan at the half. We'll get back to the video 1 second. Do me one quick favor, look down. Make sure you're subscribed. Most of you are. If you're not, please do so. It's the way we keep the channel free, we keep the videos coming, and we get to do college football year-round as God intended. All right, as promised, back to the video. But I have since gotten several testimonials as to what was said over on the Michigan side, what the attitude was like over on the Michigan side. And the attitude was basically like, all right, let's hydrate up. Grab an Uncrustable if you want, strawberry, grape, I don't care. Just make sure you understand you just took a sledgehammer to their face for 2 quarters. If you do it for another 2 quarters, the result won't be in doubt. And they did, because sure enough, this is what good programs do. I didn't say team for a reason. This is a program thing with Michigan. It's a multi-year, it's an identity, it's a program thing. They come out, and Nebraska in the second half, 0 rushing yards. Michigan retakes the lead by 10, and they kept home field edge at bay. The stadium didn't really matter a whole lot in the second half. Not that it wasn't loud, it never really reached full throat because they never really had a reason to in the second half. And I don't know that people fully understand what kind of psychological toll that takes on the other side. When you have fought and you've crawled over broken glass to find a way somehow to tie that thing, and immediately it's a 2-possession game again in your home building in the second half. Yeah, it was trying to plug 13 holes with 10 fingers all day for Nebraska. And namely, at offensive tackle, they were powerless. It was just brute force. There's not really a play that you can run. To be honest with you, Dylan Raiola, I don't know where he found 308 passing yards, and that's even accounting for the Hail Mary. I don't remember 308 yards through the air, but he had 308 through the air. 30 of 41, 3 touchdowns and a pick, and they had 1.4 yards per carry, so they were not running the ball. Now, that is sack adjusted, but they were not running the ball effectively at all. I mean, Raiola, look, you can pick apart his performance if you want to. I don't know many quarterbacks that thrive in that kind of setting. His offensive tackles were in his lap all day. There were defenders meeting at his position on the field all day. I don't really know many people who are going to thrive in that environment. They're just not ready at the line of scrimmage, which I guess I should have been more aware of about Nebraska, I guess. I hoped, though. I did let a little hope creep in. In Shawshank Redemption, when Red says hope is a dangerous thing, he's wrong. But in college football, hope can be a dangerous thing. Hope can drive a man to pick very, very insane outcomes on games that he has no business picking. And I hoped my way into a corner, and then Michigan just stuffed me in the locker again. I hate it. I hate admitting it. But I do have a new strategy with Michigan, and that is to just ride with them until they prove me wrong by losing. Michigan needs to prove me wrong by losing. So I learned a valuable lesson again yesterday. Some people said, "Oh, you'll pick USC over us in a few weeks." I'll just leave the game out of the show if I think USC is going to win. I can't keep doing this to myself. I have got some very toxic Michigan people in my life that abuse me via text message and GIF, and meme, and all that stuff after these games, and I can't do that to myself anymore. Honestly, going in the locker room was preferable to what my own friends, allegedly, said to me yesterday. The odds to win the Big Ten championship right now: Ohio State 1, Penn State 2, Oregon 3, USC 4, Michigan 5. And it should be noted there's a huge drop-off after Oregon. USC and Michigan basically have the same odds. Indiana is right there in that mix. So that's a picture in the Big Ten right now. Let's talk about our trip right quick to Lincoln. I've still got a lot of show to get to, so not going to spend a lot of time on this. Oh, we had a good time. Our friends at Flyhouse came through, as you can clearly see. If you're listening on podcast, just picture a machine bigger than we have any business being on. And our friends at Flyhouse came through big time for us. Carbs are of no concern on those kind of aircraft. And they got us up there, and we had a great time, and we were treated great. I have never been there before. Everything they said about Lincoln is true. Everything they said about the people was true. Really good access. Just had a great time. Met up with some of our old friends from CBS. Did some pregame work with them. We were everywhere. So I saw a good bit of that place. Think we saw a really, really charged game day environment. Didn't see a win, but beggars can't be choosers there. But the biggest blessing, from our friends at Fly House is being back in Nashville by 9:30 that night, and that's without even being in a hurry. So it was an awesome trip. I am very hopeful to get up there again and to be able to see like one of those moments, one of those Berlin Wall type moments. And the only thing I can equate it to is like Tennessee. I was at Tennessee when they finally took down Alabama. And the feeling of euphoria and the feeling of just finally and the pouring out of emotion from an entire fan base. It's amazing. You rarely get to see that. But when you do get to see it, like if I'm ever at Nebraska and they take down Ohio State or they take down Michigan or someone like that, that would be an amazing sight. I can tell it would be.